Good morning, students. So yesterday we have studied these various kind of a test to check the vacuum leakage, and one of the kind of a test used widely used is a helium test. We have studied various ranges and depending upon the range, the name of these tests. So let's move for the next part today. So these helium test known as a vacuum and sniffer, these are the two names given to these tests depending upon the little bit difference between the two tests, can detect the leaks with both precision and certainty. Here the term certainty means that there is no other method with which one can with greater reliability and better stability locate the leaks. Means even a small holes can be detected by using this test and measures quantitatively, not only with the qualitatively. For this reason, helium leak detectors, even though relatively somewhat costly, are often far more economical in the long run, since considerably less time is required for the actual leak detection procedure. Helium leak detection falls into two basic methods, and these two methods are the integral testing method and local testing method. We need not to study actually this, these are more details, but still we'll try to go somewhat deep about the integral and local testing. So let's go ahead. We're going to study both the cases, and the choice of method that you are going to use for the vacuum detection is depends upon the application as well as what the final product will be used for. The integral method shows if there is a leak, and local method shows where there is a leak, but the exact determination of leak rate or the leak size is difficult using the local method. Both of these detection methods can be subdivided into two further parts, that is sample under pressure and sample under vacuum. So what's the difference? You will come to know in next some slides. So let's move for the first one, and the first method is integral testing. These are the two subtypes of helium test. So in this integral testing, you can see the in the diagram you are having a helium gas. So this is a helium gas number 4, called as a test gas, right? And this is a vacuum chamber number 1. Number 2 is this a tank where you want to produce the vacuum, right? It is called as a test sample under pressure, right? And this number 3 is a leak detector, which helps you detect whether your chamber is having a leak or not. And this is 5th one is a pumping stage, right? This pumping stage is needed only when you are having a very big chamber, or you are having a very big volume, that is big tank, and you want to produce a very high vacuum, right? So this is a diagram for integral testing, and this occurs when sample is either under pressure or vacuum and is contained in a vessel. These two integral methods are frequently referred as a helium vacuum test, since the sample is either itself evacuated or placed in a vacuum with helium gases leaking in or out of the sample, which is then detected as it flows through a mass spectrometer. right? And the major disadvantage of using this integral test method is that the unit needs to be placed within a vessel of a suitable size. Furthermore, the helium vacuum test is usually only employed on the units subjected to a high or ultra high vacuum, right? So here unit means a particular chamber, that is called as a unit here. Unit means not our units in physics. So the next method of testing a vacuum is by using helium test method is a local testing, and you are having here the setup or the diagram for testing the vacuum in a particular chamber. Again, same kind of diagram having a little bit difference only. So this is a helium gas. Number 4 is a helium gas, right? And number 2 is a tank. This is a tank, and it is also called as a test sample under pressure. This is number 1 is a sniffer, and this is a leak detector, right, which helps to detect whether there is a leak or not, right? So this sniffer was not there in the earlier test. So local testing occurs when the sample itself is under pressure or a vacuum. These two local methods are frequently referred as a sniffer test, since it uses a sniffer probe. Why it is called as a sniffer? Because it uses those probes. In the local spraying on sample under the pressure, the chamber is pressurized up with helium and a sniffer device passed around the chamber's likely leak points, right, to capture any escaping gas. This sniffed gas is passed to a mass spectrometer to record any elevated helium levels, and thus using this you can detect the leakage. The sniffer test has the advantage that it shows where leaks actually occurs. However, helium concentration of 5 ppm, 5 parts per million in air limits the minimum detectable leakage rate, and furthermore the ambient background, surrounding background signals can also impact the possible detection of the minor leaks, right? Now let's move for the next point, that is leak measurement. Leak detection is over now. Now how to measure the leak, whether that leakage is a huge or a small, and if it is a huge or small, how to reduce that, right? So in case of a leak measurement, the gas is as the gas is compressible, the pressure or vacuum influences the extent of leak. Leak may increase, right? So why? Because gas is compressible, and being gas compressible, so leak can increase. So leak rates are quoted in millibars, with the leak rate being the amount of gas that flows through a leak at a given pressure difference per time. The basis of leak rate calculations are: the diameter of the leak is circular and the leak channel is equivalent to the thickness of the material that the leak passes through. That the leak passes through the pressure to less than 1 millibar internal pressure. And there are several standards related to the leak detectors at the pressure difference of 1 bar, external atmospheric pressure, and leak detection. Now this is a model number which is used to detect the leak using the helium test. So one of these DIN EN 13308 designated the helium standard leak rate for use where a leak test is carried out with helium, right? When the helium system is connected to a leak detector, standard helium conditions must be present during helium leak detection. Using helium to carry out the leak test guarantees reliable and repeatable results that can be quantified and constantly monitored. So this is about uh, this leak detection and leak measurement. So in the next video we are going to study the low temperature techniques. So most of the part of low temperature techniques is also known to you. So with this we'll stop today, and in the next some videos we'll study the low temperature techniques. Thank you.